Hi everybody, welcome to today's transmission. This is a Twinflame update. It's also an Ascension update, so if you are not a Twinflame, you still can receive light codes from this transmission, and it's relevant at any time, although it's really riding on the wave of the current energies, the current Ascension energies. But anytime you find it is when you can receive the codes from it and they'll be relevant to you. So, so much has happened since the last update. And tomorrow is the 8/8 Lionsgate, and the timing feels right now to share what's been coming through leading up to that. The energies needed to ground and activate first in the field. So since the last update, we've been working obviously with the hummingbird and the flowers representing the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and we've been looking at 3 different multidimensional layers of that. And we've also been working with alignment through the twin flame spiral, which is anchoring the individual and united divine mission through the dynamic and through the unity. So at the really highest upper level, the crystalline level, that divine masculine and feminine really anchored together, and they've hit those gateways, those sacred union gateways, and engaged. And then we've got at the more like astral level, light body level, where we travel to visit each other in our sleep and things like that. We've got the masculine and the feminine both surrounded in these amazing love light codes and accessing those, and the vibration of those pulls them together. And then at the 3D level, we finally got that engagement of the divine masculine with the divine feminine, the hummingbird with the flower, and all the hearts were streaming in around that, and I'm just finalizing that artwork, and I'm still finalizing the astral level masculine. The feminine has been done for a long time, but somebody pointed out to me, and it made complete sense, and it was like the penny dropped. Oh, of course. That the flower, the stamens in the flower are the like the tail in Avatar that connects to the Awa tree, to the God tree, or connects to each other when they're unifying their consciousness with another being or each other. And of course that theme has been running through everything as well, the unity tree, the connecting at that full unification of feeling each other fully as one, and then all of the reaching up to that unity, dropping it down into the ground with, the 3 levels, and the expanding out through the universe, through the earth, through the universe, and expanding that connection, that unity from heaven to earth, and from you to your counterpart, and expanding that out into the whole paradigm, essentially. So we're still in that process. Things are still solidifying, but the latest part is that those light codes from the masculine in the astral have been coming into the unity at the 3D level, at the really ground level. And at that point, it was my anniversary of when I met my twin flame straight after anchoring that crop circle with the twin flame spiral. And for the first time ever, we went out to celebrate that. And that was, that's a long time for it to come to the point where we were actually on the ground in the 3D level celebrating a day of unity, of our unity, very specific to us. So what happened was, so the day that is our actually anniversary, the 22nd of July, happens to also be Mary Magdalene Day. And Mary Magdalene is a twin. So I always see it as a twin flame day as well, in the more general sense. So I also feel my connection to all the other twin flames and to the Magdalene Yeshua twin flame example as well. And as I was heading out to meet my twin, to celebrate, I got to the train station, and my first shock was that a masculine, not a divine masculine, a masculine, exposed himself to me as I was getting out my car. So I got over the initial shock of that and saw it as symbolic and thought, well, I will file that away and be prepared for anything tonight. Then I got onto the platform, and I've been speaking a lot about platforms, about how the platforms are changing, how we're shifting platforms, how we're letting go of old platforms and moving to new ones on this extremely rapid ascension process we're on. And it's a bit of a shock that it's all happening quickly. And they're really big foundational changes on multiple levels of what we've based our life and our functioning on. And I got to the platform, and I noticed that the soles of my shoes were deteriorating rapidly. So my shoes, the soles of my shoes, like soles is symbolic, and shoes are a platform that I'm walking on, and I was on the train platform. So I was on a platform. And when I got on the train, I noticed that I was leaving white footsteps behind me, very, very loud and clear, perfectly formed white footsteps, as the platform under my feet, the soles of my feet, of my shoes, were turning to powder. So I was leaving this powder behind me that was forming the shape of my foot everywhere I went, as I walked down the train aisle, back up the train aisle. And I had to change trains a few times, and so I left my footprints on many platforms and many trains. And I had this reminder of Yeshua, because of the footprints in the sand that most of us are familiar with, where you're carried, where you see two sets of footprints in the sand, and the times of most trouble in your life, there's only one set of footprints, and that's because Yeshua has carried you at those points. But what I felt was Yeshua, really felt his presence. I felt him with me, but I felt him walking in my body. So I was carrying the divine masculine Christed heart, Christed consciousness in my body. But what I also was aware of was that I felt extremely exposed. So again, I had this exposure from the wounded masculine, or the human level masculine. And then I felt the divine masculine in me, and I was leaving footprints of that behind me. And I felt, I was leaving a mess behind me. Everyone can see where I've stepped. I'm so visible. Everybody can see me. But I also recognized that Yeshua and Magdalene are twin flames. And I was carrying both of them within me. And bringing it to my twin. And then there was some really incredible energetic observations that happened as we did meet up, I had to get rid of those shoes completely. They had deteriorated. The platform completely deteriorated under my feet on the journey there. And I had to buy another pair of shoes. I had to buy a new platform to meet my twin. And he also said that he had strangely put on a pair of socks of mine that morning. So he was wearing my socks. So we were linked through our feet, through our platform. I mean, that's the platform of our bodies. And at one point I was talking about a really practical level of platform change that I'm doing. And it enables me to make more space on a day-to-day level for co-creating with the masculine in my life. And this had come after I had had an activation through my throat, not so much my throat chakra, but through the my neck. It was like the bones of my neck, my thyroid gland, and the glands in my throat. So I'd felt a shift there, and as that shifted, I'd had lower backache and shifting and realignment through my lower back, which is self-support and doing it all on your own. And a lot of divine feminines have been doing it all on their own for many years, or feeling that way, especially on the ground, and especially whilst we've been in separation with our divine masculines. Well, divine masculines have not been able to fully embody, most of them, to that level of Christed consciousness, to come in, that I've been talking about, that real unity. So what so then we can feel that as backache and problems with our backs and things like that. And so as this was all shifting, there was a huge expansion of the left side, of the energetic side of my body. And that's the feminine side. So the feminine side activated and expanded as the throat and lower spine had come in. And it was correcting that requirement, for whatever reason, that the feminine has had to do it by herself, and foster independence and align to herself and understand who she is and really bring that authenticity through and really know herself on the ground. And it felt like it was opening up more of a co-creative unity with the masculine. So that's what had happened leading up about a week before. And by the time we met up, this had integrated. So as I was explaining how what's happening in the real world down on the ground was enabling this ability to co-create, this making of space for that masculine component on the new platform, his being went into shock and his right side activated. So his masculine side activated. It's like his divine masculine activated, expanded in exactly the same way my feminine side had. And he couldn't speak, so it had affected the throat chakra, which was the same level that I had had the upgrade and the shift. So yeah, it was passed on to him at that point. And, so much unfolded and so much came to light. But I think that's the important thing to bring across, is that really big shift down at the ground level, like in that lower level of the painting, of that masculine and feminine activating. So when I spoke last time of when the masculine makes that connection with the flower at the ground level, the beak goes golden and the flower goes golden, and then the belly of the masculine goes golden. That I feel like that has been shown to be the down on the ground, that Christed consciousness codes being activated in both the masculine and the feminine. Akaya toya kaya 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 toya ya ya taya kaya ko. Akatia kaya kaya ya 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 toyo yo yo yo. Akaya ya taya ya. Akataya ya ya toyo yo 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 yo. So what's been coming through since then is a lot of channel from my guides and angels about separation, and it's Archangel Sandalphon that's bringing me a lot of the twin flame messages recently, and he's holding that ground level for us. Metatron's holding that upper level. So so many different messages about separation, and also how as a collective we're all activating at the same time as a twin flame collective, and it feels like that separation is coming to an end at another level. So we're really getting the next level of unification. Akaya taya koyo yo 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 yo. So I've got this spread for you as well. So I thought I'd bring a message through just for this group around separation, rather than revamping the other messages that have come through. But essentially it's about that self-alignment. So it's been really important to have that self-alignment, that understanding of who you are as a unique soul, as an individual. It's also been important, this looks to me like it's coming from the masculine again. I long for your kisses and your touch. But I feel that's been definitely how the feminine has felt as well in separation. I know that before I met my actual twin, I had a sense that I had a twin, but it was this underlying, intangible longing for somebody that I know exists, but I can't see them, I don't know who they are. But I could feel them. But it wasn't until I actually had that merging with him, so that crop circle had come in. I'd got the download from the guides that I was about to meet him. I did meet him. And just before I met him, I merged on multidimensional levels with him, which was a big shock. And it was at that merging, at all the multidimensional levels and the different light bodies, that I felt the incredible pain of separation, because I had felt the incredible bliss of union, and I was holding both at the same time. And though I was holding both at the same time before I met him in person, it was just incredibly painful and incredibly blissful when I had the merging through the different layers. So it was really activated. The unity was activated and the separation was activated. So this card here, called Self-Alignment, I'm going to read it to you. This is from the Twin Flame Journey to the Heart deck by Ernest Henry. The journey to self starts with you. Your twin has awakened you, and both must now walk their own paths, either together or apart. There is a greater spiritual goal. Honour and support each other's journey. So this is bigger than us. And that has been reinforced so many times in my journey. It's just so much bigger than I can conceptualize or explain or understand at the human level. And Sandalphon keeps telling me this as well. Even with what I already know and what I've journeyed through, it's even bigger than that. And it's happening beyond your conscious will as such. It's bigger than the choices you make, is what I'm trying to say. It's bigger than your reactions and your triggers. There's also the message that keeps coming through is you can't ruin it yourself. It's bigger and it's happening collectively. and it's part of a collective mission of ascension. And you're doing your part by being a twin at the vibration you are, and a conduit for this energy, for this unity energy, and working it through your unique dynamic and your unique challenges that you've incarnated into to work through. So as we're aligning to ourselves, we're holding that unity, and we're holding that separation, and we're holding that pain of separation. And that pain of separation is also pain of separation from spirit, from source. And in a sense, pain of incarnating into a physical body. And it activates that longing. It activates the longing for touch, for connection, for expression of love, and that longing is so that you continue to work through the challenges and the triggers and the issues to bring this unity into the physical layers and activate the ascension process. So the separation card is, I know you are hurting, I feel your pain. As we both dive deeper into self, what rises is what needs to be healed. Trust your journey to the heart. There is no separation between us, as we have been as one since the beginning of time. So this first card, self-alignment, it says either together or apart we walk our own paths. And what I felt shifted was, yes, you're on your own paths, but now those paths are merging into a co-creative unity. Yeshua and Magdalene are coming together, walking together. Ayaya taya koyoyoyo. Akatia ya 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 ya. So even if you've been living together and in a relationship, there have been separate paths, separate individuals pushing off each other, and there's a shift happening in that, akatia yo-yo, where it's a co-creation, where that soul mission, that unified soul mission becomes the imperative, consciously. So what I've been getting so much over the last few months is do it consciously. So everything that you've been doing, you may have been realizing, oh my gosh, I did that. And that was because now this, like what I did then, I didn't realize it. I was doing it unconsciously. I thought I was just making a choice, but it was bigger than me. I actually was aligned to something greater, and it's led to this here, which now makes perfect sense, right? What they're saying is, do it consciously. Don't be an autopilot anymore. Be conscious in every moment about all your choices and about connecting up to your higher self. And it will be less of a surprise. But it's not about it being less of a surprise and less amazing when you realize that it was all guided in the first place. It's about consciously creating and consciously co-creating. Akaya toya kaya ya. Akatia ya koya taya ya ya taya ko. Akataya toyo yo yo. Akataya toyo yo. Ataya ya ya. Okay. So Metatron now wants to bring in the divine presence. He's bringing his sword to the Akashic records, and we're going to do some Akashic record work and the sudden shift. Divine presence, powerful change. Akaya taya koyo yo. Akataya koya kaya taya ya toyo ko. Akataya ya toyo koyo yo 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 yo. I'm seeing the card now as the masculine comes in and kisses the feminine there on the beach. I see that beach also is representing the emotional and the physical, because water is emotions, sand is physical, and the shore is where they come together. Ayakatia yo-yo taya ya taya koya. Akatoyo yo-yo. Okay, so Sandophon is grounding this now. Ayakaya toyo ya taya kaya ya toyo yo-yo. Ayataya kaya yo-yo taya ya taya kaya ya. Ayataya koyo yo 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 ya taya ya 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 kaya toya. Akataya ya 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 toyo yo 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 kaya ya 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 kaya ya. Akaya ya toyo koyo yo 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 ya tia ya 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 toyo yo yo ya 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 ya. Akataya kaya yo 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 ya taya ya. Akataya ya 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 toyo yo 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 yo. Akataya ya 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 taya kaya 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 kaya. Akataya ya 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 taya yo 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 yo. Ataya ya 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 toyo yo yo yo. Ataya ya ya toyo yo 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 yo. Akaya ya ya akaya ya ya akaya ya ya toyo yo yo. Akaya ya 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 taya yo 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 ya. Akatataya kaya 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 yo 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 taya ya ya ya. Akataya koyo ya tia ya ya ya. Akatoyo yo yo. Akataya koyo yo 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 taya ya 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 ya. Akataya kaya toya ya ya taya ko. Akataya koyo toyo yo 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 yo. Akataya kaya 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 kaya. Okay, so it reminded me of a recent channel that came through, which was that when it's time to unify, there is an energetic process that occurs in both twins. But it happens simultaneously to all the twins across the world. And there are different activations in different centers. One of them is between the hemispheres of the brain at the back of the head. One is down in the abdomen, below the hara point, and another one is in the chest, in the heart. Akaya toya, akataya kaya kia toyo koyo yo, akaya ya taya, akaya kaya kaya. And I'm seeing that superimposed on that couple on the beach, where the emotional is meeting the physical. Ayaya taya kotoya ya taya kaya ya taya yo yo. Akatia yo 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 taya kaya ya ya taya. So I'm now getting that Sandalphon. On the Sandalphon card, it's about sound vibrations and tuning your frequency. So I'm being reminded also that after my left side and my twin's right side had activated, and we had shared the same platform as such, and the Yeshua and Magdalene came together with us, and we were both exposed, our vulnerabilities were exposed in that meeting on our anniversary of our merging. That night when I slept, I was in this state between awake and asleep, and I was feeling my heart activated, and I heard the words from my guides, our hearts are in concert. So our hearts had attuned to each other and were in concert. So it was like a co-creation now coming from the heart level. And today's the first day. It's like the 7th of August now, and tomorrow is the climax of the 8 Lions Gate portal. And today's the first day that I feel I can really bring these codes through to you, and I feel it was all in preparation for this really powerful portal as an opportunity to really unify at that next level. Aya to kaya taya kaya ya. Akataya koyo yo, Okay. It's just seeing if Raphael wanted to bring anything, but he was working all the way through that, so. Okay, he's just talking about recovery. So giving yourself the chance to really receive those codes. I went through a lot of physical pain, terrible headaches. Everything's being upgraded and aligned to enable that shift. Hopefully you won't need to do that. Hopefully I have anchored those codes enough that it should be smoother for you guys. But you are receiving those codes through my storytelling whilst in a healing space and through the light language. So listen as many times as you need to, but do be aware that there may be physical symptoms. You might need to rest a lot. You need to really listen to any changes that you are urged to do, whether that's what you eat, what you drink, your day-to-day routine, how your day starts, what you do in your day, and of course always drink a lot of water. And just to finish off, I want to share these beautiful red roses that grew underneath my energy activated painting here. In this time between that Mary Magdalene Yeshua encounter on our anniversary and me now integrating those codes and sharing them with you. And of course the rose is the symbol of Magdalene. Just a beautiful synchronicity there to share. And just as I share that with you, I'm reminded of a divine feminine out there who, at the time I was sharing that artwork I did on my fence in my garden, there had been a ginger cat around, and she had felt that message that came through that artwork at the time was very relevant to her, and that her divine masculine symbol is this ginger cat. And I just want to say that just right now, if you're listening out there, the ginger cat just came and poked its head under the fence, and I haven't seen it for a long time. So that's a message for you if you are out there listening. Blessings, everybody. See you next time.